The new S-Class, the new luxury, brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.
The government on January 13th has set a ceiling price for the commercial sale of two Chinese-made vaccines, namely Sinovac Coronavac and Covilo Sinopharm, which will take effect from Saturday. This is because the prices of vaccines in the market are high and fluctuating. The wholesale price for the Sinovac vaccine is 62 ringgit, while the retail price is 77 ringgit. Sinopharm will now cost no more than 49 ringgit at wholesale, while the retail price is capped at 61 ringgit. Health Minister Khairy Jamaluddin and Domestic Trade and Consumer Affairs Minister Alexander Nantalinggi said the government is setting the maximum wholesale and retail prices for the two vaccines registered with the Ministry of Health's Medicines Control Agency. Both ministries explained in a joint statement that the established maximum retail price excludes the cost of services and disposables used in injecting the vaccine. The determination of the maximum price was basically based on the import price and the current market price. They said that the list and prices of the COVID-19 vaccines will continuously be reviewed and improved or eliminated based on an assessment of the current market situation. According to the statement, any private health facility licensed by the government to offer vaccines for private use is required to post the sales price to the public to increase the transparency of vaccine pricing information. The ministries also stressed that strict measures will be taken against individuals or companies who do not comply with all these vaccine pricing regulations. Those who sell vaccines above the maximum price will be prosecuted under the Price Control and Anti-Profiteering Act 2011. Individuals can be fined up to 100,000 ringgit, imprisoned for up to 3 years or both, while companies can be fined up to 500,000 ringgit or compounded up to 250,000 ringgit. The government has set up a complaints board to make it easier for citizens to lodge complaints on pricing issues. Sime Darby Plantation says that the labour shortage currently faced by plantation companies is likely to get worse in the first quarter before it gets better. MD Muhammad Helmi Othman Bashar says the industry is short of 70,000 workers as borders were shut due to COVID-19, and until the vacancies are filled, the situation will be bad, Bernama reports. He was speaking at the one-day Palm Oil Economic Review and Outlook Seminar 2022 organised by the Malaysian Palm Oil Board. The shortage of workers has been identified as the cause of the 20 to 30% decline in production of fresh fruit bunches. MPOB Director of Economics and Industry Development Division Fauzia Arshad says the government should come up with relevant policies to ensure Malaysian palm oil continues to be relevant. She says a good way to go would be to strengthen export opportunities and review bilateral trade arrangements to enhance Malaysia's trade with importing countries. Fauzia notes that while Malaysia's palm oil exports have reached 90% of its production, the export ratio between processed and crude palm oil has decreased, and if this continues, Malaysia would not be able to achieve its downstream expansion targets. The Ministry of Transport has on January 12 approved the Selangor portion of the East Coast Rail Link known as Section C2. This will allow construction work on Section C2 to begin in the first quarter of 2022. Section C2 starts in Gombak and passes through Serenda, Puncak Alam and Kapar before ending in Port Klang. Transport Minister Datuk Sri Wee Ka Siong said that the approval is based on feedback from the public review conducted during the fourth quarter of 2021, as well as approval from the Environmental Impact Assessment, Social Impact Assessment, and also the Heritage Impact Assessment obtained earlier by Section C2. We also pointed out that full approval of the plan for Section C2 of the ECRL was necessary to meet the requirements of the new alignment and allow for public consultation and inform people who will live along the line. Public review meetings were held for 6 months, and of the 12,797 respondents who expressed their opinions during this review, a total of 98.87% supported the ECRL route through an improved original alignment. For the ECRL route of Section C, which includes the rail lines from Mentakap to Port Klang via Serenda, approval from the Selangor government has already been obtained and officially announced in December 2021. The Ministry of Finance announced today that the government has received 340.9 million ringgit from KPMG, which was deposited into Malaysia's Assets Recovery Trust account. This followed KPMG's agreement to settle the civil suit filed by troubled sovereign fund 1MDB. In a statement, the MOF said that to date, the trust account under the custody of the Account General's Department of Malaysia has received a total of 19.1 billion ringgit in connection with the 1MDB scandal. The ministry said the funds will be used to settle 1MDB's outstanding debts. Finance Minister Tunku Datuk Sri Zafrul Abdul Aziz said in a statement that the government has repaid 13.3 billion ringgit of 1MDB's debts so far. As at December 31st, 2021, 1MDB's outstanding debt comprising principal, besides coupon and profit payments, amounted to 38.8 billion ringgit. However, the minister said that the current balance of the trust account is sufficient to pay off only the principal amount of the bonds for 2022. Once utilised, the government will continue to bear the obligation to pay the balance of 1MDB's debts, whose issuance was backed by a government guarantee and letter of support. MOF said moving forward, the government remains committed to the asset recovery and will always ensure adequate fund collection to settle 1MDB's debts to manage the national finance burden created by the financial scandal. CHEETAH Holdings has upped its stake in LAMBO Group to 19.64% after acquiring 23 million shares from the open market between January 6 and 11 for 2.16 million ringgit. According to a boss filing, CHEETAH's stake in LAMBO Group before the most recent purchase was 18.1%. Following the latest acquisition, CHEETAH now has 302.5 million shares in LAMBO Group, in addition to 95.5 million warrants C. The clothing retailer said that the reason for the buy was to revitalize its e-commerce presence, as it had previously signed a heads of agreement with LAMBO Group in March 2021. Notably, Koo Kian Yoon, currently the executive director and substantial shareholder of LAMBO Group, also holds shares in CHEETAH. He is the brother of Koo Kian Kiat, a former national badminton player who was appointed as an independent and non-executive director of CHEETAH on February 18, 2021.
This program was brought to you by Mercedes-Benz.